טוב, good morning. ברוכה הבאה. בשורות טובות, שמחה, אמן. So, this week parashat השבוע, actually it was last week parasha, we have a very interesting concept. Yaakov Avinu had 12 kids, Baruch Hashem, and he had a lot of bracha. Yaakov Avinu was a very wealthy guy. The Torah said it was at the time was famine. All of the land of Israel, all over the world was famine, and the only people who had food were the Egyptians. המצרים היה להם לחם. And everybody went shopping. You go to Mitzrayim, you shop, you buy, so you have food, you can survive and move forward. There was one family who had food. The family of Yaakov, they were blessed, and they had the ability, and Baruch Hashem, they had food. The Torah said that Yaakov Avinu told his children, Lama titrau, why would you show off yourself? We know that we have food, but you don't need to show it off that everybody else sees that we have food. The right thing for you to do is go down to Egypt, make sure you buy food so we can blend with everybody together. So יעקב אבינו אומר לילדים, למה תתראו? אם במצרים אין אוכל, לכו לקנות אוכל כמו כולם, למרות שיש לנו אוכל. So this is the story. צדיק, אם מדברים, אני בקושי שומע, אתה יודע כיווני. microphone, yeah, we need a microphone, maybe, guy, next time, a microphone. צריך המיקרופון, כן, ולפחות לדבר גם. אוקיי.
בדרך כלל שומעים, היום משמע לדרשים שם.
מה?
בדרך כלל שומעים.
כן, זה יותר טוב, כן. So, אז אני צריך לצעוק, I'm going to scream. די! So again, to recap, back to reality. So יעקב אבינו goes over to his children, אומר לילדים שלו, kids, you are wonderful kids, we have food, others have no food, I want you to go and make sure to buy food like everybody else. I don't want to show off as if we have food and other people have no food. That sounds okay. There is very interesting factor that the Gemara brings. Yaakov said, make sure to be similar to Esav and Ishmael. Esav was the brother of Yitzchak, and Esav was the brother of Yaakov. Ishmael was the brother of Esav. So he's telling his children, make sure not to show off in front of Esav and Ishmael. Make sure to blend in, to go buy food, act like everybody else. It is very interesting, number one, there were other people who lived around. Yaakov lived at the time in Eretz Israel, which used to be called Eretz Canaan. Canaan were 7 nations around that were all together living among Yaakov. Yaakov had no problem with Canaan, with all of the people around him. He had no problem for them to see that he has money. The only problem was only Esav and Ishmael. It's a big question. If Yaakov is telling the children, don't show off, don't show everybody that we have food, the other has no food, why would Yaakov say, no, make sure only Esav and Ishmael are not going to see us? It's not only Esav and Ishmael, it's also everybody else. Everybody who live around should not see that they have food. But the real question is, this concept is a very difficult concept to understand. There is one thing not to show off, but there is another thing. You need to behave according to the abilities that God gave you. And I give you an example. It says in Chumash Bamidbar, when Bnei Israel were going through Sichon, when Bnei Israel were going through Sichon, it says over there, Ochel tishberu meitam mayim bekesef. So when Bnei Israel went through Sichon, that Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, make sure to buy food from Sichon. If you know, when Bnei Israel were at the desert, at the Midbar, what was the food in the Midbar? Man. How much it cost? Free. That was a Jewish food, you know. So it was a man in the Midbar. So when they at the desert, they're going by Sichon. The Torah says, make sure to buy bread and water. What do you need to buy bread and water for? You have man. Especially the man had all of the flavors in the world. If you want it to taste like a medium well steak or anything similar, you can choose and you have it. So why the Bnei Israel needs to buy bread and water from the Sichonites? Rashi said an unbelievable principle, I'm quoting him. Akadosh Baruch Hu asa otchem ashirim. Hashem made you rich. אל תכפרו בטובתו של מקום. Do not deny the goodness of God to show yourself as poor people, להראות את עצמכם עניים. אלא rather, הראו עצמכם עשירים. You got to show yourself as rich people. Hashem is telling the Bnei Israel, when you're going to go through Sichon, if you're not going to buy anything, what are you going to say? They have no money. That means God gave you bracha, and you make God look bad. You know what I'm referring to? On 2008, there was a crash in the economy, and I used to have friends around. I was young at the time, still younger, and they told me, the guy told me 2009, I lost $5 million. I'm like, what? He's like, what do you mean what? I told him, I asked you a year and a half ago, how are you doing financially? He said, things are hard and difficult, but we manage. If you lost 5 million, that means you made 5 million, correct? So how did you tell me earlier that lives are hard and difficult, while later on you lost so much money that you made? Hashem is telling Bnei Israel, don't show off yourself as poor people. When Hashem gives a person bracha, he has a responsibility to show that Hashem is good. Unfortunately, among Israelis, we try everybody try to make sure, okay, we manage, it's fine. סוחבים, בג'מל, בסדר, Hashem gives you bracha. You're not supposed to present it as something bad. You got to present it as something good, something amazing that you're excited about what you have. By the way, that was the difference between Yaakov and Esav. It says that when Yaakov gave the famous gift he gave to Esav, Esav said, Yesh li Rav, I have a lot. Yaakov responded back to him, Yesh li Kol, I have enough. What's the difference? Rashi said unbelievable. Esav said, I have more than what I need. Yaakov said, I have what I need. Who's better, Esav or Yaakov? Why Yaakov? You're biased because he's your father. Thank you. If Esav says, I have more than what I need, and Yaakov said, this is what I need. Both of them wealthy people. Wealthy people, Yaakov said, this is exactly what I need. 2 billion. Esav said, Yaakov said, this is what I need. Esav said, I have more than what I need. It seems that Esav is supposed to be a better one. You have more than what you need. Why we assume that Yaakov is the better one? A definition of what you need. Who defines what you need? God. Says Yaakov, any amount that I have, this is what I need. Because who defined what I need? God. So if you gave me 2 billion, this is what I need. If I owe 2 billion, this is what I need. So everything I have, this is what I need. That was Yaakov. Esav said, no, I have more than what I need. So who defined what I need according to Esav? Esav. I define what I need. God, you gave me too much today. Tomorrow, Esav decided he needs more. So how much he has? Less than what he needs. So therefore, what's define what you need, it's not you. God defines. Therefore it says, Ezo Ashir, Sameach Bechalko. Why the rich person is happy? If what you share, this is what you need, you can always be happy. But if what you need defined by you, you will never be happy. So therefore the Torah said that Yaakov was a better one. Why Yaakov was a better one? Everything you have, it's what you need. When Hashem gives bracha to people, everything they have, this is what they need. The Gemara said that Rebbe was the richest guy at the time. He ran all of Am Yisrael, was the wealthiest guy at the time, and he was a big tzaddik. His name was Rebbe. Why? Because having any bracha that God gives you, this is what you need for life. And you must use it in life. You cannot just, okay, put it on saving account, I don't care. You have a responsibility to use your bracha out there. Therefore, Hashem said, when you pass by Sichon, if you don't buy food, it seems that God didn't give you what you need. It looks bad. As a Jew, we have a responsibility to show outside, Hashem give us bracha, Hashem noten lecha simcha, Hashem noten lecha briyut. We have the responsibility to show outside that we have a lot of bracha. That brings us to the question. When Yaakov was there, Yaakov had food, other people didn't have food. Yet Yaakov is saying to his children, go, buy food, make sure to be like everybody else. But hold on. מחילה, אנחנו רעשים מכל הכיוונים אותי. צריך שזה אולי איזה מחיצה. So, אולי, we need to sponsor a door over here, הדלת נגמר הסיפור. כל אחד $100, okay, so why is Yaakov telling his children, do not show off, למה תתראו, don't show off, make sure to show everybody that you have no food. Since when we see such a thing, that you need to show somebody else that you don't have? That's only Israeli thing, it's not normal. Normal people, if you have, you have. You don't have, you don't have. Yaakov telling his children, make sure to pretend we have no food. What's going on over here? So if you remember, the first question was, why only Esav and Ishmael? The second question, why showing off that we have no food? I think it's an unbelievable principle for life. There are two portions to a problem. Problem has two things, a problem and a solution. There was a big problem at the time in Eretz Israel. There was all of the world, no food. That was the problem. What was the solution of the problem? Solution of the problem was that you go to Egypt and you buy food. Bnei Israel were not part of the problem. Baruch Hashem, Am Yisrael, the children of Yaakov, had food, everything was amazing. They weren't part of the problem. But there were also a solution. What was the solution? You go to Egypt and you buy food. Says Yaakov to his children, even though you're not part of the problem, you must be part of the solution. You cannot exclude yourself. You cannot exclude yourself from the solution of others. But, very important, that's pretend only to specific people. Who were Esav and Ishmael? They were family. When it comes to family, you cannot exclude yourself from the solution of the family. In terms of other people who lived around Israel, around Eretz Israel, if you have food and they don't have food, it's okay. But when it comes to your family members, and there is a family solution, everybody go and buy food, you got to be part of that solution. You cannot exclude yourself, pretend that you're not part of it. It's okay for you to have food. When people are fighting together, trying to get a solution, you must be part of it. The ramification of this message, it's unbelievable for two areas in life. What's going on today in Eretz Israel? We have 138 people, unfortunately, hostage. Sorry to say, all of us, it's been a little bit fades away. We're getting used to it. Can we say that every day we remember of them? in every moment. Last night I was starving, I didn't eat all day, I was busy. And I was thinking to myself, one second, are they eating now? Do they have enough food? What's going on? So how are we supposed to relate to it? How are we supposed to act? The time goes by, and unfortunately, it goes away. You remember Gilad Shalit, when he was captured, everybody were on fire, a week, two, then a year, 2 years. You forget. You got freed, okay, Baruch Hashem. How do we deal with it? So we have a problem, right? Our brothers are suffering every moment. We cannot be part of the problem, but we can be part of the solution. What's the solution? Being involved in what's going on, not by watching news. That doesn't make you involved. That's tear you apart. Being involved is being responsible. If there is a special tefillah in a shul, special shiur, you got to be part of the solution. You got to take yourself every day at least to read one perek of Tehillim, to learn something, to do something better every day. We don't need to relate ourselves to the problem. And Baruch Hashem that we're not part of the problem, but we cannot exclude ourselves from the solution. The solution for them, it's only tefillah. We all know. Right after everybody said there is no way to get anybody out. One person, Gilad Shalit, how many people replaced him? Yeah, 1,500. It's crazy. So 238 people, you don't have enough people in jail to release. But Baruch Hashem, the formula, I'm not saying they were right or wrong. By the way, that's another issue. According to the Torah perspective, they were wrong on the way they let people out. Because the first people who were supposed to be out are the Chayalim. Because the soldiers, you put them out there to protect you. They are the ones supposed to be brought first before anybody else. But nobody asked me, so I can't say. But unfortunately, the way it's managed and dealt, it's not based on Torah decisions. Because based on Torah decision, people who fought for you, they are forced to be freed no matter what. But we were there at the time, we didn't see an end for it. And suddenly, they came with a solution that the formula 3 versus 1, something doable, we got out. But at the time, we knew the only way to get them out is via tefillot. Gilad Shalit took 3-4 years to get them out, and 5 years, 1,500 people. We all knew that it's impossible, but we knew that we cannot be part of the problem, and we were part of the solution. And we relate to the solution, and everybody prayed, everybody did a lot, and Baruch Hashem, we down to 138. We cannot let it go. We must be part of that solution. We cannot be part of that problem. There cannot be a day in our life that we didn't think of them, and we didn't do anything for them. I saw a yeshiva of Hasidim in Eretz Israel. Early, it's a special Hasidim, very strong Hasidim. They did a stand on 138 Chanukiyot menorah. Each one has a name of one of them. When you light candles, my wife lights candle on Shabbat, she has 2 more candles for those ladies who cannot light. Bring the solution part of your life. Bring it part of your day. People light menorah for them. We cannot forget to let it go. It's the dangerous thing. This is principle number 1. Principle number 2, related to the general concept. We see Yaakov Avinu was on top. Make sure who is not going to be offended. Esav and Ishmael. They were family. Were they the right family or the wrong family? I don't think people wish themselves to be family member with Esav and Ishmael. Ishmael is the Arabs, Esav are the white people who hate us. This is Esav and Ishmael. And after all, in America, we feel the Esav over here also coming up. This is the world we live in. But they are family. Yaakov Avinu said, if you have family member, you got to be part of it. Very often, our family member going through a situation and difficulties, and especially through family. The Torah said regarding your friend, "Ve'avta lereacha kamocha." You should love your friend as yourself. Regarding your brother, it doesn't say you need to love your brother. It says, "Lo tisna et achicha bilvavecha." Do not hate your brother. When it comes with family, the frictions are much higher. The difficulties are much, much, much more. A second before I enter over here, there were 2 brothers over there outside fighting. And say, okay, ask the rabbi. He wants me to take one side. I had an excuse, I have a shiur. But brothers are often to to have a lot of clashes, a lot of difficulty. They grew up, and between family members, things are not always smooth. There is a lot of differences between family members. Can be religion, culture, and many other areas. But Yaakov is saying when it's come to family member, you got to be part of them, part of the solution of the family member. Meaning, it's not only pertain to brothers, to the intimate brother, it's pertain to the extended family. And I give you a classic example. You are, Baruch Hashem, on certain level in religion, and your family is making an event. And that event doesn't fit your level. The natural response of us, okay, if it's not my level, I can't come. But it's a family. By a family, you don't go by levels. You go by the solution. You must get a solution to be part of the family. I have a student that he had a family, a reform bar mitzvah. So in a reform bar mitzvah, you have a lot of voices coming up there because the Rabbanit read the Torah also, and you have a lot of the congregation all sitting together, men and women. There is a lot of differences compared to a shul. As a side note, by the way, a reform, the Orthodox approach, reform, it's not good, it's not good. Obviously, it's not good for us, but it's important for them. Because they kept Judaism for many people that wouldn't be able to be part of the Orthodox world. Obviously, we never pretend to be similar. Somebody came to my father and he says, can I ask you a question, Rabbi? I came from a Reform shul. In my shul, nobody talking during tefillah. I go to Orthodox shul, people talking during tefillah. What's going on? You pretend to be more religious and you speak more during tefillah? So my father told them it's very simple. He said, unfortunately, when we go to shul, we see our friends. We didn't see them all day. So we didn't see them all week. Shabbat, it's wrong, but we're talking to each other. Said, you sitting next to your wife in services. No wonder why you're not talking the old tefillah. But we have some cultural differences. But obviously, they are brothers. They are part of us. If a family member is part of the reform movement or anything different, I'm trying to bring an extreme example. So you must be part of the bar mitzvah. You cannot say, okay, I'm religious. I can be part of the reform event. You got to go over there. You don't need to sit during services, but be there. Don't get aliyah to the Torah, but be outside. Relate. Be part of the solution. I had another guy you had a month ago, a reform wedding. So the Rabbanit conduct the services and everything. Again, we relate to it as something like Rabbanit, what's wrong? But in their world, it's okay. And we need to respect their world. But when we come across, you don't need to be in the Rabbanit solution while she conduct the service. But I told him, go to the chuppah before. Come an hour earlier before everybody else. Show your family members that you appreciate them. Anybody who come an hour early, especially Israelim, that means a lot, right? It means you love the person. You come an hour early, you show that you're part of them. So you weren't there exactly for the chuppah. It's not the end of the world. When it comes to family members, we must find the solution to be part of it. In any event, or a family event, we cannot be. There is certain exceptions in life, beyond today's conversation, sensitive topics, that sometimes parents need to make statements to kids on intermarriage, depends on the situation, as a statement, not as but when things already happen, we must relate, we must be part of our family, part of everybody else. Our message that we are taking today, number one, what's going on in Israel, we must stay part of that solution. Each one, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm comfortable giving ideas of Tehillim, Shiur. Some people try not to speak Lashon Hara for an hour or just to do good. Whatever you need, you can do, and every day, you must be part of that solution. And the most important is family. Family, events, members, friends, you must find a common ground to be part of it. It's a responsibility of every Jew to combine, to have everybody together. בעזרת השם, ונגיע באחדות יש גאולה, יהיה משיח צדקנו, אמן.